This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Chris Hogan, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Our phone number is 888-825-5225. We are going to take a second, though, and pause on the phone calls and just pay honor to our friend Rush Limbaugh, who passed away this morning. And there are very few people in this world that create an entire industry. Elvis, you know, the king of rock and roll. Even the Beatles followed Elvis, you know. And Rush created talk radio as we know it. There were a few people doing it odds and ends here or there. But the first person to do of scale, for sure, and in the process of those number of decades, becomes an American icon, and very interesting guy. I got to spend a little time with him a few times, and obviously I was a little bit starstruck. And so whether you agreed with his politics or not, for God's sake, some of you out there have some class today. It's hard for some of you, but you ought to have a little class. I mean, if someone you completely disagree with and you hate their message passes away, and you can't, Mama used to say, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. So
that's right.
There's a good plan for some of you. Just shut up. But anyway, Rush created an industry. I mean, he and some of the guys that were working with him in the early days took AM radio, and it was on life support, and brought it back to life. To the point that AM radio stations, which were, you know, prior to that, almost didn't exist in the ratings books, became the #1 rated show or station in many, many cities. On AM talk, you know, AM talk radio did that.
Wow.
And it was him that blazed a trail. And you know he blazed a trail because there's so many people that came along after him that wanted to be him.
That's right.
There's so many Rush wannabes on the air out there, or people that just stepped into the same space with their own thumbprint. But some of them not very original, some of them very original, and a lot of them are friends. You know, here's what it takes to do what he did. You have to have an unbelievable intellect, which he did. His critical thinking skills are unbelievable, and his sense of humor. The one thing he does that so many don't do when he's discussing stuff is not only to make fun of himself, but made fun of himself, but he's just dadgum funny. Was, and it's just it's hard to think about past tense. Get my grammar correct here, but his ability to deliver that, and his ability to deliver thought-provoking things, and for those of us that are consider ourselves conservatives, he put words to things we were already thinking and feeling, and it really wasn't like what he was saying was new.
Right.
It's like me, you know, and you, Chris. We don't say anything new. Get out of debt. Your grandmother said that.
That's right.
You know, it's nothing new, but we've just done it with a panache and in a way, and with enough volume that it's touched millions of lives, and certainly he did. And so, iconic guy. Behind the scenes, an introvert.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, not a. You would think as loud and gregarious as he was on the air that he would be that way in a cocktail party, and he would just as soon not be at a cocktail party. He'd just as soon not be in a crowd. And a lot of the guys on radio are that way. A lot of gals and stuff, even on TV. They're you know, they don't mind the camera, they don't mind the microphone, but a crowded room is not something they want to do. I'm unusual in that regard because I am actually an extrovert, but I'm louder in those situations than I am here.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But he, you know, he set the standard, and those are shoes that won't be filled. There'll be a lot of attempts in the coming weeks for all of us in the business to try to figure out what to do now, because it leaves a gaping hole in talk radio, obviously.
But no one will. People will come along and do their own version of whatever they need to do. I hope they don't try to just do Rush again, because that'll be a mistake.
Yeah, it would be.
And because it's impossible.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I mean, he's definitely an icon. Bombastic, had no fear of giving you his opinion. And like you said, critical thinking skills were unmatched.
Yeah.
Being able to look at both sides, but also tell you what he believed and his feeling. And so prayers go out to his family.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've reached out to the team that's around him. We know all of those, and around his family and so forth, and all of that. But, it is an interesting thing to stand back and look at a person whose life was so epic that they literally created an industry. I mean, Henry Ford created the assembly line and thereby the automotive industry, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people say the car was invented before Henry Ford. Yeah, but no one did it like he did it. I mean, he took it to scale. There were other people making cars in their basements and other things, but the mass production line, the ability to create a factory to make cars was, and the Ford Model T became the thing.
The standard.
And everybody after that was, including Tesla, still trying to catch up. And so that's what happens. And when you come in and an entire genre, an entire industry is created around a person's skill, a person's ability, and so forth. That's iconic. That's iconic. And we've certainly, the talk radio portions of the Ramsey Solutions business have certainly ridden on the coattails of that. Had I come out and said, I'm going to do a show on the radio and I'm going to take phone calls and I'm going to teach people how to get out of debt before the road had been paved by somebody like Rush, I would have been laughed out of the building. I was already laughed out of the building several times anyway, but I would have been really laughed out of the building. And mammoth impact, and really quality guy. Again, I didn't agree with everything he said, but I don't agree with anything anybody says. I don't agree with everything Hogan says. So
I don't know why you had to go there, but I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't. No one. If you have critical thinking skills, you don't agree with. There's no one you agree with 100%.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I don't even agree with Jesus 100%. That means I'm wrong, and I got to learn something, right? But so you got to learn, and if you can't respect the accomplishments, the impact, and the quality of that, then you're missing something.
Yeah.
Whether you agreed with him or not, or whether you agreed with his politics or not.
Well, I can tell you this on behalf of the family. I would encourage you, if your life was impacted by Rush in any way, write a letter. Send it to him. His family, it would blow them away to be able to read those stories and remember this man in their life.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace. Chris Hogan is my co-host today. This is the Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com/Ramsey to find out more. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Alex is with us in Syracuse, New York. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Hello, Mr. Ramsey. How are you?
Just the same, sir. How can we help?
All right. Well, let me first just say sorry about your loss of Mr. Limbaugh. I know a lot of people looked up to him. My question here is, I'm a social studies teacher in Syracuse, New York. I'm 23 years old, and I'm kind of at the point where I don't know which questions that I should be asking. This particular question is about 403Bs, private pension plans. Mm-hmm. There's about 4 different companies that I can set up private pensions with, but I guess my question to you is, what questions should I be asking them when trying to decide which company to choose?
Okay. What do you do again?
I'm a social studies teacher.
A social studies teacher, and so your school system has a 403B available, and there are 4 different companies that you can choose to fund your 403B. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who are they?
So I have Voya, Security, Aspire, and Equitable.
Okay. What you're looking for inside of these companies is what they're offering for you to put the 403B into. You're looking for mutual funds. Equitable is most likely life insurance products. Stay away from those. They're bad investments. Okay? I don't know the other companies. Aspire, Equitable, and what were the other 2?
Voya Financial.
Okay. They probably have mutual funds offered. But you're looking not for an insurance, not for an annuity. You're looking for mutual funds. And so ask each one of them, do you offer mutual funds as an option? And then, if they do, you're looking for 4 types of mutual funds.
Yep, you sure are. And inside of those, you're gonna see they're kind of structured. And when we talk about being diversified, you want to put money. We don't want all your eggs in one basket. And so you're gonna look at, you're gonna have growth, you're gonna have aggressive growth, you're gonna have growth in income, but you're also gonna have available international. Now, of those 4 types, that's what you want to be putting your money into as you're investing over the long haul. And so what I would do is get that information on what they're offering you. Go sit down with one of our SmartVestor pros so they can start to help you understand what's available and which program is going to be the best fit for you in the long haul. But you are going to hire an investment professional to help you. You are the owner of this money. So you're not trying to find a guy or gal just to turn it over to. You're going to work alongside them for your future.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Okay. At 23 years old, how are you at this point? Were you taught by your parents or are you self-taught?
So taught by you and Mr. Ramsey, really, honestly. But my mom's been a great support system also, so definitely shout out to Mom. But,
that is fantastic.
I'm just at this point where people are telling me things to do, and I just have to pause and be like, because I don't know what I should be asking. So that's where I'm here right now. And I called the show before, and Mr. Ramsey's helped me buy a car not too long ago. So.
Cool.
Well, go to DaveRamsey.com. There's articles on there Dave has about questions to ask your investment professional. You'll find a wealth of information there, and you can go right from there with those questions and go sit down. But I can tell you, it can save you a lot of heartache and headache. A SmartVestor Pro is going to be the person to guide you and to be able to help you understand what you're dealing with.
Alex, you're very wise to be asking questions, and even the question of what questions to ask is a good question, because the whole thing is, do not put money in something you don't understand, not because I said to, Hogan said to, or anybody else, or your friends, for God's sakes. Put money in something because you understand it. And what we suggest around here are the 4 types of mutual funds: growth, growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. And if you can find those with long track records inside those 403B companies that are offering to fund your teacher retirement program, then that's where I would put it. But try to stay away from annuities and try to stay away from insurance, life insurance type products. They're all substandard at best, completely suck at worst. All right, Frederick is with us. Frederick is in Texas. Hi, Frederick. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Mr. Ramsey and Mr. Hogan. Thanks for taking the call.
Our pleasure. How can we help?
So I just had a quick question on, I'm 22. I'm going to be graduating from school in about a year and a half, and I'll be graduating with about $35,000 in student debt. And so my question is, right now, should I double down with my time on school so that I can, have the highest paying income I can have out of college? Or should I, take out a second job or a side job right now to try to take advantage of the fact that, there's a freeze on the interest rates for the student loans and tackle those? That's my question.
Frederick, what year are you in school?
So technically I'm a senior, but I'm going to be graduating in 5 years because I switched from neuroscience to finance.
5 years from now?
Oh, no, 5 years total. So a year and a half from today. So I have 3 semesters total left.
I feel better already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have the money set aside to pay for the remaining of school you have left?
I do not. So it's all student loans. So the total, it'll be all student loans all the way through. And then my dad has a good chunk of it in Parent Plus, and then he put some in my name. So I have 35 total when I graduate.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, my friend. I love the spirit of you wanting to get that debt out of your life. But first and foremost, as Dave will tell you, the best investment you can make is in you. And so I would want you to get money set aside to make sure you're not having to add any more student loan debt to this $35,000, right? We're at that limit. And so once you have that in place and you're paying for your school moving forward, then I want you to turn your attention to attacking the debt. But I don't want you signing any more of those papers in the financial aid office. They're not your friend.
So here's the thing. There's no point in paying down your student loans while you're continuing to borrow. That's filling up the hole with one shovel and the other hand's digging it out at the same time. You're just swapping dollars, dude. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, so your first goal is work your butt off and limit or alleviate the future need for more borrowing from today forward. Let's get out without any more borrowing. That would be goal 1. Paying down the student loans that are currently there, I wouldn't worry about until after graduation. But your main goal now is to add no more debt. And yes, I would work and do that. And I think I heard you say, double down on school so I get a better job. There are very few jobs that pay you more for a 4.0 than for a 3.0. Like none. Okay? I've been interviewed for jobs and interviewed for all kinds of things, interviewed in the press and everything else over the last 40 years of my life. And I can tell you the number of times someone has asked my GPA when I was in school was 0. How many times I know you got a master's in finance.
But no, I've not been asked my GPA.
You got a master's in finance. Nobody asked you what that was. But when they were reading your best-selling book.
Yeah, not been asked. But I mean, we're not telling him to hold back.
No,
yeah, I mean,
but this idea,
potential.
No, but this idea that if I'm going to work, my grades are going to suffer. Usually they don't. Number 1.
No, that's true.
It's not a given. And then number 2, if you're working and your grades do suffer a little, it's not going to mean you don't get a job.
No, that's true.
And if you're being hired by people who the difference in a 3.5 and a 4.0 or a 3.0 and a 3.5 matters, that's not someplace you want to go to work anyway. These people are freaks. You don't really want to work there. There's some strange individuals.
Yeah, aliens.
Yeah. One eye in the center there.
Something off Star Wars.
I mean, really.
You don't want that.
Does that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no. You get to work, dude. And no more student loans.
No more.
Bust your butt and get your butt in class and no partying. Quit playing beer pong. This is The Ramsey Show. Savvy of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Luke and Sarah are with us, which can only mean one thing. They're debt-free. Way to go, guys.
Thank you.
Where do you guys live?
Columbus, Ohio.
Ohio. Awesome. Well, welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
And you leave Ohio and come to Nashville for our one snowstorm of the last 5 years. So now this is our version of global warming. So welcome. Good to have you. And how much debt have you guys paid off?
Paid off $90,000 in 2.5 years.
Way to go. Excellent. And your range of income during that time?
$60,000 to $75,000.
Wow.
Wow.
What kind of debt was the $90,000?
It was our house.
You paid off your house?
Yeah, we
Yes.
We're looking at weird people.
Oh.
You guys are cool. Well done.
Thank you.
That's a big deal. All right, Sarah, was it your idea or was it Luke's? Who started this thing?
Actually, it was me when I first brought it up to him. He was insulted.
Oh, he was insulted.
Well, I was kind of the nerd and kind of working through everything. I kind
Oh.
of did all the finances. So when she
Okay.
brought it up to me, it was like, am I not doing a good enough job here? I mean, So it took me a few days, but with God's help and kind of smacking me around, I mean, he let me know that it was more about she just wanted to know about the finances, like so that if something did happen to me,
Right.
she could take care of things.
Okay. So what happened from that day forward?
Well, we started we got into the class and
Oh, you did. Went to Financial Peace. All right.
we were introduced to that, and then we started working together, and it was really big shock to me how much faster things started working once we were on the same page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Working together towards things instead of me just handling the stuff.
Yes.
Well, you're built like me in that you said, you're the nerd. You like the numbers. And most of us that are wired that way, we have a tendency to think numbers are going to fix things. And it's not. It's behaviors that fix things.
Yes. Yep.
And relationships that fix things. The numbers are the result. But it took me a long time to get there because I wanted to fix everything with the numbers.
Yep.
A spreadsheet is my life, So, wow, way to go, guys. Excellent. So what's this house worth?
About 260.
It's all yours.
Wow.
How old are you two weirdos?
37. And
I'm 38.
You have a paid-for house. Yeah. That is so
yes.
wacky.
Yes.
I
Very
mean,
excited.
you don't owe a dime.
Nope. Nope.
I mean, what was the size of the last check you sent in? Do you remember?
Probably 8,000, I think.
8,000, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Like a bonus or something and just popped it, huh?
Yep.
I love it. So well done.
Yeah, so
Thank
the
you.
biggest sacrifice for each of you, what's the biggest thing you gave up in this journey of paying off your house?
Mine was I had a bunch of little toys and stuff down in my basement
Okay.
that I've saved up throughout, my life.
Like what? What was one or two of them?
They're like action figures
Action
or
figures.
So you
little,
sold
little
them?
miniatures. Oh yeah, I sold all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
What did the whole kit and caboodle bring?
Ooh, I have no idea.
Roughly.
At least 10,000.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had a real
Oh,
collection.
you had a real collection.
Yeah,
I've got
it was a
3
lot.
down in my basement.
No.
That's not a collection. You had some stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't just that stuff. I mean, we sold. That was kind of everything that we sold.
Yeah.
Was around that.
Okay.
So,
Sarah, what about you? What was the biggest thing, biggest sacrifice?
I would say I was working 3 jobs for a while, 3 part-time jobs. I'm down to, I would say 1.5. So that was a little rough for a little while. My photography business really took off, so I was able to let one of the jobs go, and I cleaned our local church. And so it was rough during busy season, but
you made the
we had a
sacrifices.
goal. We had
Yeah.
a goal, and we were both excited.
sometimes
to
telling
reach
people
it.
no that they wanted to do something and asked us to come, we would say no. We're trying to hold down here. We got a goal that we want to hit, and we would just work even harder on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Who were your biggest cheerleaders?
Probably our family and friends and our church.
Yeah.
He actually leads the FPU group at our church now,
Oh,
and
okay.
they've been on board with us ever since, and they've been wonderful, and a lot of great family and friends that we have.
There's nothing that gets you fired up like leading it because then you have to do it.
Yes.
That's right.
I mean, it's not like you can kind of cheat then.
That's right. We saved our credit cards for our first class so we could cut them up on class.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Very cool. So to other people out there that are thinking it's not possible, right? At 37 and 38 years old, what would you tell them?
If you stick to the plan and you keep working it can be done.
Yeah.
It's sacrifice, but to me it was more of our kids are kind of young, so I wanted to do it when they were younger, and I knew I could sacrifice for a couple years, and then it was then we're done.
Yeah.
Then we can move on and start doing things that we want to do.
Yeah.
And we never went without I mean, we had everything we need. We had a lot of family time. We played board games, maybe less vacations or more go visit family for vacations. And so we never went without. Many people say can't take your money with you. Right, we can't take our money with us, but we can leave our kids with morals and values and lessons to pay off.
And work ethic.
Yes.
Yeah, and other things. So well done, you guys. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Very neat.
Thank you.
Very neat. Okay, now you're leading financial peace classes. You paid off your house. You're not even 40. People ask, how did you do that? What are the main ways that you tell somebody to get out of debt?
Have an accountability partner, for sure. We don't keep anything back. If I went to McDonald's and we already spent over our budget, I have to tell them.
If I wanted to buy that toy, and I'd have to come to her and say, "Hey, is this a good idea?" And she'd always say no.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
We
Even
just
though I
sold-
really
we just
wanted
sold
it.
6 of those. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
But hey, you went through the period of saying no. You know what you get to say now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you said yes to your future. I'm very proud of you
Yes.
too.
Thank you.
Live like
Seriously.
no one else. Later, you get to live and give like no one else.
Absolutely.
That's right. You guys
Absolutely.
are amazing. All right, and you brought the kiddos. What are their names and ages?
Grace is 10 and Logan is 7.
Very good.
They're also big supporters. We had a thermometer that we all crossed off the next line every time we paid a little more off. So they've been great.
All right, there
That's
we go.
fantastic.
So they've learned it.
They have.
They know that their family tree has changed.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are so impressive. What
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful people. All right, it's Luke and Sarah, Grace and Logan from Columbus, Ohio. $90,000 paid off in 2.5 years. House and everything. We're looking at weird people. We got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires, without a doubt. That's the next chapter in your story. So count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right, guys.
You ready?
3, 2, 1.
We're
Oh, I'm going to tell you, Logan meant that.
Yeah.
Logan meant that.
Yeah,
okay?
he's there.
He's made some sacrifices. He wanted everybody to hear that. That's fantastic. Wow. Great points they made.
Yeah.
Talking about making sacrifices, talking about accountability people, being committed to the goal and being driven, wanting it bad enough that you're willing to sacrifice for right now. And that's all part of it, Dave.
You know, I don't know what the numbers are because I don't know that we necessarily track it. But it would be interesting if we could go back and look over all the years. And we have about $50 million worth of debt-free screams a year on the air. But how many of them that have paid off their home went from going to the class or Financial Peace University or reading Total Money Makeover to becoming a leader?
Yeah.
There's something about when you go from baby step 2 and you're out of debt, and then you're going to go on with 4, 5, and 6, you're going to knock the house out, that people take that next step, they go over and they become a coordinator. And I think it's a way to stay plugged in.
I think so. But it's also, when you have something that impacts and changes your life, you can't help but want to tell others and be able to guide them. And so, you know, if you're out there and you're wanting to get plugged in, you've got opportunities. I'm telling you, I don't care where you are in the plan, if you're attacking debt or maybe you're on baby step 1 and you think I could help other people with this.
Yeah.
You can help people.
Yeah, just check out Ramsey Plus and talk to that team about being a coordinator for
Yes.
Financial Peace University. And the people going through Ramsey Plus, a lot of the coordinators are virtual now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the classes are virtual.
You know,
and not all of them, but there's a
bunch.
percentage that are, and so
really is.
And I guess probably will be forever, not because of COVID, but just because that's the way things are now.
That's right. But hear me again. You do not have to be debt-free to be a coordinator. You can start helping people today.
Nor do you have to be perfect, because that would also rule Chris and me out.
I'm not. He gone.
Who, me?
Me.
Oh.
Yeah. You too. We gone.
We gone.
We gone.
We gone. We is gone. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us on The Ramsey Show. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Colby's in Sacramento. Hi, Colby. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Mr. Ramsey?
Better than I deserve. How can Chris and I help?
Awesome. I had a quick question. Currently, I'm in my third year of college, graduating so I've got about a year and a half left. And currently, right now, I'm on baby step one. I've already saved my $1,000 for my starter emergency fund. And currently, throughout life, I've worked hard at many jobs and have saved up to about $37,000 that are all in stocks. And currently have a $15,000 car loan. And was just curious for baby step two. It says pay off all debt. But right now, all of my stocks are making more than my monthly payment. Was just curious on what I should do and how do I set up myself for success in the future.
Colby, I want you to brace yourself, buddy, because you said a key phrase. How do you set yourself up for the future? Which means you're going to have to let go of some things you've previously learned and some things you've previously thought. Because what we're about to tell you is going to be a paradigm shift. It's going to be counter to anything you've heard. And it's going to feel weird. And your brain is going to try to resist it because it sounds so weird. Tell him, Dave.
Well, when Chris and the team here did a study on millionaires, we studied 10,000 of them. Not a single one of the 10,000 millionaires that we studied said, I kept debt on my car and used that payment to put into single stocks, and that caused me to be wealthy. Not a single one used leveraged car loans to invest in stocks to become wealthy. Not one of the 10,000, which tells me that your plan sucks. That's what the data tells me. Okay? And so you've gotten lucky so far. So far, the stocks have gone up, but they don't always go up, and you're carrying this extra debt. How are you paying for school?
I'm blessed. My parents are putting me through school.
Great. Okay. The good news is you've got a great financial mind, and you have the ability to look at numbers, and that's gonna bode well for you. If it doesn't lead you into taking risks that you don't even realize you're taking.
Yeah.
So if I woke up in your shoes this morning, what would I do if I was your age, knowing what I know at 60 years old with a net worth of hundreds of millions of dollars? What I would tell you to do is what I would do if I woke up in your shoes. If you were my son or dadgum, my grandson or whatever, I would tell you to pay off the car today, move your single stocks into mutual funds, and be the tortoise.
Yes.
Don't be the hare.
Yep. There it is. And I'm going to tell you, it's crazy, Colby, but if I could go back in time, I'd grab me by my hair. Ramsey, don't go there. I had hair back in the day. I had hair back in the day. But literally, in that mindset of getting away from a car payment, of staying away from this cryptocurrency phase, because another phase is coming, and it's a get-rich-quick scheme. And Dave taught me something 15 years ago. Don't get rich, build wealth. There's a difference in the mindset. There's a difference in the approach. And I'm going to tell you, it feels better.
Yeah. You know, there's no shortcut to any place that's worth going. And very few people who get wealth quickly keep it. It's very unusual. So somebody hits the lotto, the bankruptcy rate of people who hit the lotto is fourfold the national average.
Yeah.
People who inherit money with no effort and have been taught no character or work ethic promptly lose it. And now it doesn't mean that everyone does that. They don't. But I mean, you can teach your kids, and the inheritance can be a blessing because they've got the character. But anytime there's quick rich, that it's the best way to get rich quick is don't get rich quick. And so that's where all of where all these sayings come from, true principles. And so that's what we tell you to do. Of course, you're a grown person. You're going to go do what you're going to do. But ask yourself what the 30-year-old version of you is going to think about the 20-something version of you when you look back. Did you have a fro?
When I was a baby, Dave.
When you were a baby. Can you think about this?
Listen, I had a TWA.
What's that?
It was a teeny-weeny afro.
Oh.
It was little. It was little. Mama Hogan did it to me. I wasn't old enough.
I mean, like when you were a teenager.
No, I didn't have a fro.
How big was your hair when you were a teenager?
It was a little. I just had a little bit.
Because you're always wearing a football helmet.
Well, yeah.
You know what? You don't mash it down.
Yeah, I kept it low.
Okay.
But the story behind the first shaving of the head, we said if we made it to the national championship game in college, we were all going to shave our heads. And I'll be doggone if we didn't make it. And so that was the first time a razor touched my head. And I never went back. Never went back. I'm like, this is a little maintenance.
And then it wasn't optional.
I like this. Yeah.
That's just you.
It is. It just
I can't imagine that head with a fro on it. That just would be more than, like the full size.
No, I can't.
The big one.
Yeah.
Like a 1970s. You remember? I mean, that would be. That's a picture I need.
No, I'll find one of the little one. I'll bring it on here.
Thursdays on whatever it is, Twitter or Instagram.
I will reach out to Mama Hogan and I will get that posted on Instagram. Follow me at Chris Hogan 360. You are going to see a small afro soon.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
Small one.
Small.
All right. Little. Low.
Yeah.
All right. Jake's in Tacoma, Washington. Hey, Jake, what's up in your world?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. First of all, as a fellow bald man, I have to say that you guys have great hair styles.
Jake, you are the caller of the day. You are the caller of the day.
Whatever you want, you can have it.
Yep. Yeah, whatever you want.
I love it. Hey, so I got a question for you guys. The company that I work for, I'm in Baby Step 4. I was super happy to be through Baby Step 3 when COVID hit, for sure. But anyways, I'm on Baby Step 4, and the question that I have is my company has a Roth 401k option that matches 25 cents per dollar with no max.
Wow.
Should all 15% of my contribution go through my Roth 401k? Or should, yes, okay. Wasn't sure if any of that needed to be split up into the IRA.
No, you got a 25% rate of return if your mutual funds completely bomb.
Perfect. Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's killer. Yeah, we definitely want to do that. Are they matching you in company stock?
No, it is
cash.
They go into the traditional, of course. Yes.
Yeah, and then
Right.
After I think it's after 5 years you're completely vested, but I've been there for more than 5, so 100% matched not 100%. 100% of their portion of the contribution is just in the regular mutual funds.
Jake, that's a super cool benefit.
Yes, it is.
The next time you run into someone in leadership, you ought to tell them thank you.
Give them a hug.
It's highly unusual.
It is. But he brought up something, Dave, even with the Roth 401k, the employer match version of that, you do have to pay taxes on that, okay? That's going in pre-taxed. But your money that's going in the Roth side of that, in the Roth 401k, is after tax.
It's growing tax-free.
And it is growing tax-free. So, but that's a great opportunity for him. But traditionally, this is a teachable moment for all you listeners out there. We don't factor in the employer match. Don't care what they're doing, how much. We call it icing on the cake. You want to flex the muscle of you investing 15% of your income.
Which he is.
Yeah.
But then we'll certainly take the match. Your first priority is get all the match you can get. Your second priority is make sure you're in a Roth. He's got the benefit of being in both.
He's in both.
And your third priority would be then to do traditional something if you can't fill it up. Can't fill up your 15% in match and in Roth. In his case, he's got all of the above. So very good. Now later on, when you're in Baby Step 7, you can once a year, if you're vested, roll that money out of the traditional over into the Roth and pay your taxes on it once a year, which is what I do on my personal one.
Right.
Once a year, I roll out at the end of the year. Matter of fact, I just did it in January. Rolled out the match portion where I match myself since I own the company, but this is dumber than crap. But anyway, I match myself, and then and I'm in Baby Step 7, obviously. And so I roll that out and pay taxes on that portion immediately and let it all grow Roth from that point forward.
Smart.
I don't have any traditional left. I've rolled it all to Roth over the years. And each year, I do it again so that I never have any. It's all Roth.
It's good stuff.
That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Chris Hogan, my co-host. James Childs is our producer. Kelly Daniel is our associate producer. This is the Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. This is The Ramsey Show. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones, and you can get in at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Colton starts off this hour in Nashville. Hi, Colton. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Great. How can we help?
Good. Hey, so I'm kind of, this is a good stress to have, I guess, to a degree. So I have right now about $7,000 in credit card debt, and then $6,000 in student loans, and then we have about $25,000 in my wife's car, and then we have we're about to close on our first house, and we are going to need to put down around $21,000 to avoid PMI, and we have currently sitting in our checkings around $87,000. And so I guess my question is, obviously I'm going to have the $21,000 coming out in about a month for the house. Do I tackle all these debts right now because we have the money, or I guess just kind of get in the house, get that settled, and then
what are those debts total?
So debt total, we're about $38,000 with the car, student loans, and the credit card debt.
Okay. All right. Well, we teach folks not to buy a home until you're debt-free and have your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses in place. But it sounds like we can do all three things with $80,000.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So write a check and be debt-free today, a series of checks. Put $21,000 aside for your down payment, and set the rest of it aside as your 3 to 6 months of expenses for your emergency fund.
Yep.
Okay.
Colton, if you do all of those, if you do all of that after the $87,000, you would still have $21,000 left as part of your 3 to 6 month emergency fund.
Yeah, and I think that just stresses me out because in my mind, I hate being under a certain amount in our account.
Then you should sell your car.
What's up?
Then you should sell your car.
I should sell my car?
Yeah. So your car is causing you stress, or you shouldn't buy this house. It's causing you stress. Because when you start buying a bunch of crap that you don't pay for and you don't admit it, then you act like you don't have stress because the money's laying over there in your account, that's falsehood. That's a faux peace. It's not real peace.
Yeah, and I think for our income level, I think that we're okay. I think the biggest
what is your
part that worries
income?
me is about $130,000 per year.
Yeah, great. How old are you guys?
So I just barely turned 28, and then my wife is 24.
Well, you've done a good job saving. You've done a sucky job with debt.
Yep.
And you haven't done a good job organizing all of this, and you just kind of go buy stuff whenever you want to.
That's right. And you can clean all this up
in one fell swoop because you've been saving good.
Yep.
And here's what'll happen. When you get out of debt, you don't have any money. I mean, you got a $20,000 or so in your emergency fund. You don't have any debt except your new home. And be sure to put that on a 15-year fixed, by the way, not a 30. Then what you're probably going to do, because you're a natural saver, you're probably going to put some more in that emergency fund before you start investing, because that $21,000 is not enough for you to feel comfortable. That's not really... that's maybe 3 months of expenses, but it's not 6 months, and you probably want 6 months since you're a saver by nature.
Yep, but you're going to have to stop the stupid. with the debt, which means as you write these checks, you guys are looking at each other saying, we're not doing anything else. Like prime example, Dave, I feel this in my bones. I do. It's not the cold weather either. It's wisdom. Because you buy a new house and guess what? You think you got to buy new furniture.
Furniture.
Yeah. Oh, you got to get furniture because you got the new house. You need a new couch. The old couch can't come to the new house. Yes, it can too, because it's a couch. Okay? Slow down.
They do what they're told.
Slow down. You're trying to do everything at this light speed, and I'm telling you, it increases debt back into your life. Move with the furniture that you have. Sit down, make a plan that you're going to save up and you're going to pay cash.
Yeah, for furnishing the home.
Yeah. And if there's some rooms that are unfurnished, guess what? It's fine. Throw a box in there. Go sit down on it. It'll be fine. But I'm telling you this from wisdom because I've done that stupid, where you feel this being compelled to do things before you have the money, which ends you back in debt. So Colton, take a deep breath, buddy. Write checks, clean this up, and move forward with your financial future on a whole nother level. You guys need to get plugged into Ramsey Plus. The problem is you've not had a plan. You guys have just kind of been doing.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You know, I was just sitting here thinking, in the 60s, 1960s, it was very difficult to borrow to buy furniture. It was unusual. And so my mom and dad moved into a 1,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath ranch house with a full basement in it. And I remember most of my life, my younger years anyway, up until maybe, 12 years old, our living room didn't have any furniture in it. Had this wonderful green shag carpet that you had to rake. Remember the rake? You ever rake shag carpet?
No, Dave.
You have to rake it. It had like a grain to it. And when you got finished vacuuming it, you had to rake it. It was like cutting grass. And so, but there was no furniture in there until, because we didn't have the money to buy furniture. And you couldn't buy it. They wouldn't, at least regular people. Rich people, I guess, could. But I guess regular people couldn't borrow money because there was no rooms there they went. It was just...
Wow.
There was, nothing down on a couch or 0% interest until your taxes
When did that stuff come aboard? That in the 80s?
The 70s and big time in the 80s.
Big time in the 80s.
But it started showing up in the mid to late 70s is the first time. 90 Days Same as Cash particularly big in the 80s and moved on from there. But it's just, so my point is that you're correct that it's okay to save up and pay cash for furniture.
It sure is.
Even if it's a few years. Which in his case is not going to be. He makes plenty of money to buy a daggum couch.
But I had a friend of mine. He went to Goodwill, got some furniture for a room, and he said, when we get the money, one piece will leave at a time. And I never thought this guy would be that kind of person, but he put his pride aside. And he goes, we're not going to let this rush us. He said, we've done stupid before. And
Dude, we bought a $6,000 leather couch for $600 at a garage sale in the rich people into town.
Yep.
That's what we did. And it was a great leather couch. I wish I had that leather couch. It was awesome. And it's probably still okay because that leather lasts forever.
Oh, yeah, it was real cow.
But, yeah, it was like a real cow. And comfortable, too. But it was real expensive, rich people stuff. And we bought it for $600 because they just changed the color out. Mama's redecorating or whatever over there on that end.
Got you a deal.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing what happens if we can change our thinking.
They probably wish they had that couch back. This is the Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Travis Hogan, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Means even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your window blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
All right, today's question comes from Rebecca in Washington. She says, I'm on step 2 of my baby steps. A year ago, I started a new job and was given stock in my company. When I started, our stock was around $33 a share. My stocks have now vested, and a quarter of them are being released to me. Shares are now sitting at $127 per share. Is it wise to sell my shares to pay off debt? Or since our stock prices continue to rise, should I leave my shares invested? Oh, Rebecca, listen to me. I want you to sell what you're able to sell. Be aware of the taxes, reach out to a tax ELP, talk to a SmartVestor Pro, but get this sold and apply it toward debt as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Let's pretend, because we don't know numbers, but let's pretend there's $20,000 worth of stock.
Mm-hmm.
And there's $20,000 on a credit card. Okay? So there's a way you can analyze this, Rebecca, in the future, and others of you, and it's helped me over the years to do this. I read it in the Harvard Investment Newsletter about probably 25 years ago. It's called a sunk cost analysis. And all that means is you reverse engineer it. And you say, what if I didn't own this stock and I didn't have this $20,000 worth of credit card debt? If I had the opportunity, would I borrow $20,000 on my credit card to buy this stock at $127? It's the same exact math.
No, it is.
The reverse engineering, though, gives you pause.
Yeah.
And makes your stomach leap into your throat and go, no, I would not do that.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't do that by holding on to the stock and not paying off the $20,000 worth of stock and not selling it at $127 a share to pay off a $20,000 credit card bill, mathematically, it's exactly the same thing.
Wow.
When you reverse engineer it, though, it grabs you by the heart.
Oh. And you see it clearly.
And you quit doing the math stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And it's kind of like, let's say you could do that with anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be an investment. You can say, I've got a $20,000 boat sitting in my driveway that I have not had in the lake in 4 years. Now, if I had $20,000 piled up in the middle of the kitchen table, would I go buy a boat if I didn't own one? And most people, if you haven't had the thing in the lake in 4 years, would say no.
No.
Which means it's time to sell the boat.
Yeah.
You would rather have the cash than the boat.
Right.
And when you pretend like you're doing it in reverse rather than the way you're sitting on,
right,
then it makes you go, oh, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And it really has helped me not do or undo a lot of things.
A lot of stuff.
That I wouldn't ever go proactively do. Another one of those that comes up often is, hey, we want to move out of our current house and make it a rental and go buy another house and have debt on both of them. Should I do that? Well, let's pretend you were already over in house B. Would you go buy that old house with that much debt on it as a rental? And most of the time people go, no. Well, you're just becoming a landlord by default.
That's right.
Not by intention. And so when you reverse this stuff, sometimes it grabs you around the throat and makes you go, that's stupid.
Yep.
I'm not doing that. It helps me a lot.
No, it
really
does.
has.
That's a really good way of looking at it.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. Derek is with us in Minneapolis. Hi, Derek. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Doing? Thanks for taking my question.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, a couple things. When I was in college, I had a ton of credit card debt, and I said I'd never do that again, and kind of worked my way out of it. It was pretty bad. And I was pre-Dave Ramsey before I knew about you. Then my wife, she had a ton of credit card debt, and we worked really hard for a year or two to get it paid off. Recently, I just borrowed a car from a guy. He asked me why I paid cash for the car. I could afford a lot better car than that. And I said, because I hate debt. So he left your book in my car, one of the best gifts ever. So the question is, twice now we've paid off my wife's credit card. We kind of have things separated now. And now she wants to go back again to us paying them off because I'm kind of pushing the Dave Ramsey model. how do I get her to be motivated and not go behind my back and run up credit card debt again?
Why are your finances separated?
Well, right away we were together. We paid off her credit cards. It was about $16,000.
How long have you been married?
14 years.
Yeah. So why are your finances separated?
And this is why. That was the only. Like, I love my wife to death. This is the only battle we have. Is that after we paid them off, I thought we were done with them. She told me she cut them up. I actually watched her cut them up. The next year, when we got our tax returns back, that's kind of when we paid our last $1,000 on them with our tax returns. The next year, she said, let's use the tax return to pay off the credit cards. I said, we don't have any credit cards, so I don't have to worry about that. She said, well, I have $9,000.
Okay, so you didn't separate your accounts. You never had them together.
No, we had them together.
Oh, that's impossible. It's impossible that you had them together because it's impossible she has credit card debt you don't know about if your finances are together.
Right. My mom and dad were kind of helping her on the side.
Doesn't matter. So they're paying the credit card bill so she can hide it from you?
Pretty much it. Yeah. So we separated then for the next 14 years, and she asked me, how much money we have. So like that. So I kind of showed her, and she noticed I've saved up a ton of wealth, kind of using your system by myself. And now she wants to get back on and do this together.
It's not my system if you're not doing it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Derek, I'm going to tell you this: trying to do money stuff when you guys have a marriage issue. There's a
it's tough. Trust me, we don't hardly ever fight.
No, I'm not saying you. Listen to me. Some of the nastiest fights are nonverbal. And so what I'm saying is you guys need to go sit down with a marriage therapist, a marriage counselor, and find out what this is that's standing in the way of you all connecting. Because this money stuff has got to be done together as a team. And it's putting the cards on the table and being upfront and real so you guys can make some decisions about how you're going to move forward.
Your probability of continuing to build wealth at the speed you should build wealth is very low until you guys get on the exact same page and you're doing a monthly budget together that both of you know where every dollar is going before it goes, and you're both in agreement on the basic tenets of how you're going to handle money. An emergency fund, you're going to be debt-free. We're not using credit cards anymore. But you're sent her off over there by herself, and then you're shocked that she runs up a credit card bill. That's not right.
Well, she makes a ton of money.
I don't care.
I'm asking. Yeah, I know. So I could pay off all the credit card bill and
I don't care.
Now. Okay.
You guys need to combine your freaking lives. You're not going to fix this otherwise.
You're right.
You got a roommate, dude. Are y'all splitting who uses the mayonnaise? Who uses the mustard? I mean, who gets to drink which beer in the refrigerator?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Y'all need to be on the same page. It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. And you do not grasp what you're missing out on that. And then you're turning around and acting like somehow she's deficit.
Right.
Because she's running, you said go run your own finances, and then you're shocked that she did. Of course she did.
Yeah.
And of course she did whatever the flip she wanted to do. So I don't think this is her fault, dude. I think it's yours.
Yeah. No, and again, you guys, it's pronoun problems. You keep saying I and she. It's got to be we. What are we doing moving forward? I think the first step you guys need to take is to get with a marriage counselor to sit down and get real about your situation and what you want from the future. It's imperative, or you're going to keep going in circles, my friend.
This is The Ramsey Show. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today on the debt-free stage in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Joey and Maylene are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. Where do you guys live?
We're south suburbs of Chicago.
Awesome.
Area.
Welcome to Nashville. Good to have you down here in the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Wow, just like Chicago or something, huh?
Guess we brought it with us.
Who would have? Oh, it's your fault. No, we were wondering whose fault it was.
Why would you do that to us?
Yeah.
How much debt have you guys paid off?
We did $54,085.
Awesome. How long did this take?
12
1
months.
year to the date.
12 months. Love it. And your range of income during that time?
It was, where did I put it? 56,000 to 100,000.
Nice jump.
Whoa.
How'd you double your income?
We were very intentional.
Turns out when you run a business with no debt, you can give yourself a pay
Well,
increase.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you just said, I'm bringing more home.
Yes.
Pretty
so
much.
And worked all the time.
We
Yeah.
did work a lot, yeah.
What kind of business have you got?
I have a pet salon and then another side hustle, but I have a pet salon.
And that's where you made the money.
That's where I made the money.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Lots
Very
of
cool.
pet care, huh?
What do you do, Joey?
Lots of pet care.
I'm a union electrician in Chicago, local
Okay.
134.
Good. Good for you guys. Well done. Very well done. What kind of debt was the $54,000?
Pretty much everything you say not to do.
Yep.
Family loan, consolidation loan, credit card from the consolidation that we didn't close, and some student loans and
business
business
debt.
debt.
I had in the business, I had taxes. I had, and I say I because at the time I did not involve him. I was just doing it on my own and not really talking about it. So it was a quick loan. It was that my mom did for me. It was just everything that you talk about.
So you guys were normal.
We were so
Super
normal.
normal.
Completely
Yep.
normal. So what happened? Because you did a complete 180. This is amazing.
We did. It started back. I was working on myself and seeing just a counselor, and I realized that we were like making all this money, and we were just living paycheck to paycheck, and it made no sense to us. So I just brought it up to him, and he was fighting it for a little bit, and then I showed him. I spelled out like all our debts, not including the business, but all the debts, and he saw the numbers, and then he still didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So
I said we were too broke.
yeah, our church, we go to Parkview, whoop, whoop. And our church actually was having it at a discount, the financial piece. And so I told him, I was like, hey, I know we've been back and forth about this, but like they're discounting it and it starts on Tuesday. Like, let's just do this. And he goes, we don't have the money to do that. And I go, well, that's why we need to do it. So we signed the next morning for our daughter's birthday. He signed us up and we started our journey.
Wow. So Harlow's church.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a good friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, good man.
Yeah.
Joey,
His son-in-law used to work here for a long time.
did.
Oh, cool.
Joey, as you look back on it, what was the thing standing in your way?
I think just believing in it. She pushed me over that edge and, got us going. When I started downloading this stuff, it turns out I had the Every Dollar app on my phone for like 2 years and never opened it. And, her pushing us forward and really getting it in my face showed me it's totally doable.
So how far were you into the class, Joey, before you went ding, ding, game on?
That first class.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah, I was easily persuaded.
Wow.
I saw it. I'm like, this all makes sense. Let's go all in.
So you didn't hear that, because I'm like you in the sense I go into stuff a lot of times with my shields all up. I'm like, nah, I'm a scam alert, scam alert. Is this guy? What is this guy? And then it takes me a little while to believe on something, and because I have the gift of cynicism, but once I do, then I'm all in, and that sounds like what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're all in.
Yeah.
Well, that's what a lot of people do, and that's okay. Way
Yeah.
to go, man.
Yeah.
Way to go, you guys.
Yeah, I love that you guys, it sounds like you united.
It does.
Yeah,
You
in
know?
a big way. And I give all the glory to God because he truly guided us, our path to this where we are now. And
Strengthened our marriage.
our
and
marriage is
everything.
in a whole new place, and it's the best thing.
Yay. That's awesome.
That is.
So proud of you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Very well done. So when someone hears you paid off $54,000 in 1 year, you completely combined your finances.
Yes.
And we're making more money than we've ever made in our lives. and they say, how do you do that? What do you tell them the key is?
For me, the key really is just communication. That's one of the things that when we got married, I always told him. I sometimes am over communicative, but now that we've gone through this, it's really just communicating about every part of your life when you're in marriage, and not being afraid to talk and just lay it out there and not judge each other, and just know that we're each, we all have our faults. So just be open with each other, and it's a beautiful, it just makes the world a difference.
Yeah, teamwork.
And then budgeting.
Yeah.
Like a budget is so freeing.
Yeah, and it seems like it's going to be the opposite when you start.
Yeah. I think that was my biggest thing.
Felt like a budget's going to be a straitjacket.
Yeah, when we started, I had a plan for her 30th birthday, and I was going to take her to Nashville, and I was like, all right, we can do this, but let me still put this money aside, but you can't know why.
And I was all in at that point. I was like, no, we can't do that. It's not the plan.
I'm like, we'll cash flow it. It's fine. Just trust me.
And I fought him all the way up until the shutdown happened, and we were stuck at home. We got back to work, and I'll tell you what, I was like, let's just breathe and go take a break. And we came here, and it truly just kind of, because during the shutdown, because we were budgeting, we were able to get through it without taking any more debt. We were able to just pay off and still pay off our debt in the time frame we wanted to. So it was just like a relaunch to both of us, and we sat down and revisited where we were at, and that just like skyrocketed us right to the end.
Boom.
Our goal was to be done by the 31st of last year,
2020,
and bring in the new year that way. And it was probably the end of August. I was looking at the bank statements, and I was like, we have this much left, and we have this much in the bank. Like, we can just take it all out. Everything is paid for. And we were able to pay it off on our daughter's 6th birthday, which was to the date when we started.
I love it.
Yeah.
She got to hit the button.
So.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was awesome.
The button is her family tree being changed.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Very neat.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, you guys.
Thanks.
I'm appreciative of Pastor Harlow and Parkview and the guys teaching the class.
Us too.
Makes it available to you guys.
Absolutely.
So, well done. Very, very well done. Good stuff. Who are your biggest cheerleaders?
I would have to say, for the most part, everybody closest to us were very on board. They weren't quite understanding why we were doing things we did, but his mother was really in shock. She was so proud of, happy for us, but she was like, you guys are working all the time, and we were needing babysitters all the time. So just to really all of our friends, and
I'd say
even if they didn't understand, they stuck beside you.
They stuck beside us. Yeah,
that's family.
And
that's
I'd
good.
say anybody who said we couldn't do it. That was fuel. Kept us going.
You're that guy.
Yeah.
I like it. All right.
Yeah.
Congrats, you two. Great job.
One thing I was really excited about with this journey is it also got my parents on board, because we both grew up with, our parents didn't necessarily know how to manage money together or just in general. And all of them, or my parents ended up doing the journey, and they also became debt free in the same time as
all right, let's get the kids in. What are their names and ages?
Emma is 6 and Layla is 2.
And we got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. That's the next chapter in your story. Emma and Layla, I'm sorry, and Maylene and Joey from Chicago. $54,000 paid off in 12 months. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
This is The Ramsey Show. Here at Ramsey Solutions, we want to transform so many lives that disruption spreads like wildfire across our country. Imagine a world where it's weird to have a student loan. Instead of assuming that it's the only way to get an education, imagine a world where the majority of people pay cash for their cars. Imagine a world where credit cards are the cigarette of the financial world. Imagine being part of causing that level of disruption with the work that you do every day. At Ramsey Solutions, that's why we have 1,000 people at our company working together to create digital products and services to help people transform their lives with the goal of disrupting the toxic culture in America. Whether it's parenting, marriage, mental health with Dr. John, money, careers with Ken Coleman, we want to disrupt it. If you want to join us on that crusade, we're on the hunt right now for software engineers with expertise in Ruby on Rails, Java, C#, front-end technologies. If you're a UX designer, SEO, and content marketing specialist, we'd love to talk with you. As a matter of fact, we're going to hire about 250 people next year, or this year. And a bunch of those hires are on our website at daveramsey.com. Click the Dave's Hiring tab on the right-hand side of the homepage to see all of our opportunities. Wow. Lots of stuff going on here, Chris.
It really is. And, you talk about being on a mission to disrupt the culture. That's exactly what we're about. And for a lot of people, 2020 was a year of reflection for you, where you looked around and you realized that maybe you weren't working at the kind of place you wanted to be. Well, this is the time to make that change. We talk about controlling the controllables. And so you've got a great opportunity to join a team that's on a mission. And so go over, check it out. If you're interested, go ahead and apply. Don't wait any longer, because I'm going to tell you, we're voted as the best place to work because that's exactly what we are.
Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Jason is in Washington, D.C. Hi, Jason. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you. It's an honor to speak with both of you.
You too. How can we help?
I lost my dad about 6 weeks ago.
Oh, no. What happened?
It was a brain infection. It was rather sudden. He had a tumor, and then it went to infection. It wasn't expected, of course, and he was gone within a few months.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Thank you. We're still in a bit of shock, of course. I'm helping my mom with next steps. I wanted to ask how to best help her invest. We have a SmartVestor Pro meeting in a couple weeks. The only asset is a house. It's nearly paid off. But he did leave my mom $350,000 in insurance, in life insurance, tied to those claims. Just not quite sure. Obviously, we'll work with the SmartVestor Pro, but I want to see what your thoughts were.
Okay. So is that all the money she has?
She's about $10,000 liquid in a checking account. She gets a fixed income. She's going to get my dad's check. So total, she'll have about $3,200 a month in fixed income every month. She can afford that without deducting this insurance money. We're going to have to sell the house to downsize her, but then she's only on a fixed income.
How old is she?
66.
Okay. All right. So the plan is to move down into a house that she can afford and pay cash for it, I take it.
Correct. The current house is about $300,000. There's about $70,000 left on the mortgage, and we can get her a house for about $200,000.
Okay. And she's okay with this idea?
She loves it. This is a big house. She's ready to move down.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Well, that's still going to leave the $350 clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah. So we're just going to invest that money and let that add to her monthly income. She should be able to invest it with a SmartVestor Pro, and those mutual funds should create a monthly income for her to add to what she's already got. It's a fairly clean process. I'm glad she's got you there walking with her.
Yes. Yeah. And she's, Jason, your mom is young at 66. So, glad that you're going to invest it and have a long-term kind of mindset for her and moving forward. And, you know,
if you can live off of the income that she has, plus the income that those mutual funds create with no house payment, which she probably can do, it sounds like, then, you know, you're going to let that money sit there and it may even grow. You may not even pull all of the income off of it. You don't have to. There's not a rule that says you have to. But also would want her to be taken good care of in terms of the margin in her monthly budget. I don't want her on beans and rice. Okay,
Right.
There's no reason for her to have to be here.
Yeah.
So I mean, she should have an income of, with all of it combined, north of $6,000 or $7,000 a month. And I think she can make it on that with no house payment.
No house payment, absolutely.
Yeah.
But just let people know out there, you know, if you're ever bumping into a situation where it's in your family or you bump into friends that have lost a loved one, and if insurance money is coming in, we typically advise that you park that money for 3 to 6 months. Just set it over in a money market account and get yourself together. Kind of get your heart in the right place. Get a game plan. Get a structure. Because what you don't want to do is ever fritter away or misuse that money. It's very important that you become extremely intentional. And sometimes parking it there for 3 to 6 months will let you get yourself together so you can make the right decisions.
Absolutely. In this case, there's no downside to going forward with what she's talking about.
That's right.
That's a way of parking it because we're not using it. That's the point. It's just going to be sitting there invested. So, oh well. Hey, man, thank you for the call. I'm sorry. What a horrible thing you guys have gone through.
Yeah.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Esteban is with us in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Hey, Esteban, how are you?
Hey, good. Good. Thanks for asking. I just want to say thank you for taking my call. I've been watching you guys for a couple years now, and so it's just an honor to be able to speak with you guys.
You too. How can we help?
Awesome. So I'm 19 years old. Recently just got married to my wife. She's 18. We live in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And now we recently just found out that she's pregnant. And so we're going to be expecting in November.
Yay!
Yeah, pretty exciting. We have about a little over $5,000 saved up right now. Our goal doing the baby steps was saving our 3 to 6 months worth of expense, saving that 3 to 6 months. But now we're expecting. And so I was just wondering, what's kind of is there anything I should shift or change, or what should we prioritize right now on doing?
Yeah. Well, the only thing we teach you to do while you have a baby on the way is not do the baby steps. You just push pause in the middle of them, wherever you are, and pile up as big a pile of cash as you can possibly pile up between now and the time baby comes. There's no downside to that, because after baby comes and baby's okay, mommy's okay, and come home from the hospital, we take that money, take it back down to the $1,000 at that point. Baby step 1, pay off all debts, and 2, 3, finish the emergency fund. We work the baby steps with that money. So it's just a 9-month delay on getting started, but meanwhile, you're piling up cash to get a quick start.
Okay. Is there a certain number that we should kind of aim for?
No.
To have saved up?
As big as you can. Save as much as you can possibly save. You can't have too much in your savings account.
Right.
Yeah, because Esteban, you're going to, as Dave said, once the baby gets here, you're going to start now taking that money and you're going to start applying it to the baby steps, and it's going to keep you right on pace, my friend.
Right.
Now, Esteban, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I have an associate's degree. I graduated from an early college high school, and so I applied to U of A to go in the summer. Now, do you think we should probably wait on me finishing school?
I'm fine with you going as long as you pay cash for it.
Yeah.
Just don't go into debt.
Yep.
But that'd be awesome if you finished up your school. What a great life you've lined up for yourself, young man. Well done. Very well done. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Chris Hogan, Ramsey personality and author of the book Everyday Millionaires, is my co-host today. This is a millionaire theme hour. We're talking to real millionaires, not someone with an opinion, someone who really has $1 million, and asking them how they got it, where it came from, how's it invested, and so you can learn. Maybe you want to be one too. A millionaire is $1 million net worth.
That's right, Dave.
Not $1 million income.
That's exactly right. And let me define that. So you know what you do? You take all that you own and subtract out anything that you have debt on. So I'm talking about bank accounts, 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, all of those things added up, subtract out anything with debt on it. If the end number is $1 million or more, then congratulations, you're an everyday millionaire.
That's it.
That's it.
What you own minus what you owe, your assets minus your liabilities, is your net worth. And that is really the most accurate measure of wealth. Income is not wealth. Credit score, sure as crud, is not wealth.
No.
It just means you've been playing kissy face with the bank. And so what is a real millionaire? Where do they come from? What does real wealth look like in America today? So if you have a net worth of $1 million or greater, call us. We're going to talk to you and ask real people, not your broke brother-in-law, but real millionaires, how they did it and who they are. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Mike is our first one up. Mike, what is your net worth?
$1.48 million.
Say it again.
$1.48 million.
Okay, $1.48 million. And break that down for me. How is that invested, the categories?
Yes, I've got that about $640K in a 401K and Roth IRA. I've got $450K in an ESOP, Employee Stock Ownership Program, about $80K in other mutual funds, $280K is my house, and about $30K in cash.
All right. Good for you. Very cool. And so how old are you?
I'm 44.
Ah, young guy. Good for you. So how much of the 1.48 did you inherit?
Zero.
And what has been your income range in your working lifetime from the time you started working, your worst year to your best year?
So I started at $41K, and I'm about $112K now.
Cool. What do you do for a living?
I'm an engineer.
Good for you.
So you did get a degree. Do you remember your GPA?
Yeah, I got a master's degree. My GPA was 3.8.
3.8? All right. And do you do any giving as a household?
Yes, we consistently give about 12 to 15% of our income.
That's fantastic. And tell me this, what was your biggest money stupid throughout your journey to becoming an everyday millionaire?
I don't think we made any big mistakes. I would say my biggest mistake was just being slow about paying myself first. I did some of the standard, some early minimal consumer debt and credit cards, but we got rid of those pretty quick.
Okay.
Once I started investing regularly and paying myself first and making it automatic, that made a big difference.
Yeah, because just your 401k and your ESOP has got you over $1 million.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Way to go, man. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. So what advice would you have for the 25-year-old version of you? Sounds like get started earlier, right?
Yeah, no, get started early. My supervisor encouraged me to contribute to my retirement right away, and I took that to heart. But I would say invest in yourself, pay yourself first, and make it automatic. That made a huge difference.
It does. Automatic discipline is easy discipline. Yeah. And so you didn't use debt to create wealth, did you?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. So a couple of myths debunked right there, right off the bat. So, Mike, thank you for the call. Well done. Congratulations. It's a millionaire theme hour where we are talking to real millionaires. The phone number, if you want to be one of them on the air, is 888-825-5225. 888-225. Engineer is one of the top 5 that hit your
It really did.
your research on millionaires.
It sure did. We had engineers, we had accountants, and then school teachers. Teachers hit in at number 3, which blows people away. But if you start to think about it, teachers love a plan, they follow a plan, and they're intentional. And so what that really boiled down to show is that it has nothing to do with your income, Dave. It's about having a plan.
Yeah.
It really is. And so we want to hear from you. We don't care if you invented something, if you won it in the lottery.
Maybe you inherited it.
Maybe you inherited it. Either way, we want to hear from you because
this guy was not making $400K a year. He's making a max of 112.
Yeah.
He's only 44. I mean, he did not inherit any money, and he did not borrow money to make money.
Nope.
And so all the mythology that's out there, this is people inherited their wealth, they're crooks, they're famous entertainers, they have, 4.6 GPAs or whatever, they're geniuses. We don't find that to be true most of the time.
No.
Occasionally one of them is, but yeah. Bob is next. Bob's in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Hey, Bob, what's your net worth?
Well, hello. My net worth is 1.15, and we actually just got over that during the pandemic.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. So break that down for me. What are the categories and how much in each category?
Well, we have about 540 in mutual funds, 220 in real estate, and 243 in cash, and then we got about $80,000 in it's insured for that in collectible musical instruments, sports cards, and guns.
Cool. Good for you. That's fun. Okay. And how old are you?
We're 70.
Good for you. All right. And how much of the $1,115,000 did you inherit?
Well, about 15 years ago, my parents, who were wonderful Christian parents, but not much in financial training, they gave us $1,000 and said, "This is probably your inheritance." And as it turns out, it was.
Okay. All right. And what has been your range of income during your working lifetime, your best year and your worst year of income?
Well, when we first got married, we had one income as for 2 school teachers because we only had one job. We made $6,400 for the year. And then that increased as school teachers go. We were both music teachers. And so the last year that we taught, I made 41 and she made 38. That was the last year before we retired. Now, our highest annual income is actually then after retirement because our mutual funds have done pretty well and because we do a little part-timing stuff and draw our retirement.
All right. And so your best year teaching was combined 79, and what's been your other best year?
Well, with everything, all the retirement plans we're drawing at Social Security and teacher retirement and all of that, 160 is what we were taxed on last year.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Good for you. Well done. Well, congratulations, sir.
Seriously.
Music teacher with music instruments that are collectibles. I bet that's an interesting room.
I bet it is.
Well done, Bob. Well done. Real Millionaires on the Millionaire Theme Hour.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
It's a millionaire theme hour here on The Ramsey Show as we talk to real millionaires, people with a net worth of $1 million or greater, to learn where they got it, who they are, and so you can emulate them, you can copy them, you can learn best practices from them, because we want you to have abundance. We want you to live and believe in proper principles that will take you to abundance. I think you will notice, as I've done the Millionaire Theme Hour now for many years, that I've never talked to a single person who said, I became a millionaire because the government gave me so much money. My stimulus check made me a millionaire. These are words I have never heard.
No. And you know what else I hadn't heard, Dave? Credit card miles made me a millionaire.
Hadn't heard that one.
Never heard it.
Hadn't heard that one.
Bonus miles, all those things.
Very seldom here. I inherited it.
Yes.
Very seldom.
Yeah.
And statistically, it's less than 7% of you that are millionaires actually inherited your money. Most of 93% did not become millionaires. According to the largest study of millionaires ever done in North America, airtight statistical analysis and research format that we used because we knew some of you lefties would go bananas because you don't like us telling people that they have responsibility for their own lives.
Well, and you know what? They'll be okay. The reality is we are in control of our destiny. And that's one of the stats that jumps out. By the way, you can get all these statistics. We've got the national study of everyday millionaires available where you can get just the stats.
If you want
available.
the white paper.
It's the white paper. You can read all that. But one of the shocking ones in there was 97% of the millionaires surveyed said that they felt that they controlled their destiny versus 50% of general population.
And that was regardless of race.
Yeah.
Regardless of ethnicity, region.
Right.
It was a belief.
Yes. Mindset.
It was, I know there's crap I have to climb over. I know I'm going to run into morons along the way. And I know I'm going to get some help along the way from good people.
Right.
But I believe it's up to me.
Yeah. And it's this realization, Dave, that we're all running this same race, right? The race of legacy. And we all have different start points. Some people do have some challenges that they have to deal with. Others start off a little bit ahead, but we're all running it, and it's us against us. And having that mindset that's the finish line that I'm going for, it's possible.
It is possible. 97% of the millionaires said it was their own destiny. When we surveyed and asked the public how much do they think?
Yeah.
The general public was 62%.
Was it 62? I said 55. It's okay.
62%.
But a drastic decrease.
And so, in other words, it's not the only thing.
Right.
But it is a big thing to actually believe that it's possible, which is why we do this show.
Oh.
Because you and I have overcome baldism. In order to become wealthy.
We sure did.
We had to overcome baldism because everybody has something they have to overcome.
Hey,
some mountains are taller than others.
That's
right. Not a real tall mountain.
That's not.
But it is a thing.
But you told me there's never been a bald president.
Since television. Dwight D. Eisenhower was the last one, other than Gerald Ford, but he didn't get elected president.
That's right.
He was, he became president on Nixon's resignation.
Right.
And he never got reelected. He got beat in the re-election.
There's an ism.
So there you go. I'm telling you.
But seriously, we have the ability to be able to build wealth. It's about being intentional. That's why we're doing this hour, so you can hear directly from them.
Eric is in Detroit. Eric, what is your net worth?
About $1.85 million, Dave.
Good for you. And give me the breakdown by category, some dollars per category.
Okay, about $550 in retirement and investments, $150 in cash, and about $1.2 million in real estate, which is 6 rentals and a primary residence, so 7 total.
All paid for?
All paid for.
Wow. Good for you. Big real estate guy. Okay, how old are you?
I just turned 52 yesterday.
Awesome. You're like a poster child. That's our average age of the millionaires and the ones we studied, by the way. So good for you.
Oh.
So how much of the 1.5 did you inherit?
About $50,000.
Okay. Were you already a millionaire when you got it?
I don't know exactly. It's hard to say because, in Detroit we had that property crash and everything. So I probably wasn't, but I don't think that actually made me one either.
Okay, so you didn't take that 50,000 and parlay it into $1.5 million.
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
In fact, half of it's sitting as an inherited IRA.
Oh, so you never touched it. Okay.
No.
All right. And so the what has been the range of your income over your working lifetime? Your best year and your worst year?
Oh God. Well, I was a waiter looking for a job, making $15,000 a year, and I probably made between $150 and up before business deductions and stuff with the rentals.
Gotcha. Okay. So, what is your career?
I'm a lawyer.
Okay.
Okay. Good for you.
And do you remember?
But I'm more of a real estate guy than a lawyer.
I understand. Obviously, you got your degree. You went to law school. What was your GPA?
Well, in undergrad, my GPA was a 3.65. In environmental science and photography, I was really planning, Dave. After listening to you, I hear that, the creative writing degree. And in law school, it was only about a 2.9 because I don't like to read.
Okay, all right. And do you, and in your family, do you all do any giving?
Yes.
What kind of giving do you do?
Well, I'm very involved in Ferndale Elks Foundation and the National Elks Organization. So I do a lot of work in giving there, and I do a lot of work with animal shelters.
Gotcha.
Good for you. That's fun. So before you were a millionaire, how many brand new cars did you buy?
Let's see. I bought one and leased one.
Okay. So two.
I never leased again after that.
Okay. So what is the dumbest financial thing you've ever done?
Well, I mean, you've always bought stupid stuff at times in your life, and then you can't go and put it back. But I think the biggest financially was that I bought my first house that I lived in 98, and I didn't have enough money to remember that, you're going to need a roof or have money for a furnace or anything like that. I didn't have the reserves. I had it, and I even paid PMI. So that was all a good learning experience. Luckily, I didn't lose it. It didn't go south. I got out of it eventually, and then when I went to the next house, I put 20% down. I got a 15-year mortgage, like you talk about, and I think I paid it off in about 10 and a half years.
Cool.
Wow.
Cool. How many properties do you own?
6 rental houses and 1 primary residence, all like within a mile or 2 of where I live.
Okay, good. And so you've enjoyed that whole process, obviously, and paying cash for them or getting them paid off very quickly, one of the two.
Yeah, no, I pretty much cash flowed them one after another. You look back and you go, wow, I could have bought more, but then you also then could have lost them. I'm very happy with what I have, and you can always say, I could have done better, but what are the significant downsides?
No, you're right. And so where did you get this premise? Where did you learn about money the right way?
My parents were both pretty Depression era mentality, even though they weren't of that era.
Okay.
And my dad was an engineer and self-employed, so I learned a lot of the self-employeds of you see the contractor in the Mercedes the one day and then in a broken truck 3 years later because it crashed. And my father was like, "That's how you don't do it." And so I looked at that from the real estate perspective.
Yeah.
And my first house in Detroit, my own house was lost 65% of its value during the crash. And the house down the street all of a sudden was selling for $35,000.
Wow.
And I was like, well, it's never going to be worth nothing. And so I decided I'd buy it. And I knew someone looked at it for $131. And I was going to buy a car. I was going to buy a new Camaro. So I called the house the Camaro.
Yeah.
Ah, very well done. Very well done.
Different way of thinking.
Good job, brother.
Yes.
Well done. Proud of you. This is a Millionaire Theme Hour here on The Ramsey Show. It's a Millionaire theme hour here on the Ramsey Show. Chris Hogan, author of the #1 best-selling book, Everyday Millionaires, is my co-host as we talk to real millionaires. How did they get there? Who are they? Lee is with us in South Carolina. Lee, what is your net worth?
About 1.5.
Good for you. Now break that down for me in terms of category and dollars.
Category dollars, almost all of it is in literal dollars. I don't count other assets. My other assets bring it up to about 0.5.
Up to about 5 million, or up to about another half a million?
No, another half, 0.5.
Okay. So you have $1.5 million you have $1.5 million in cash?
No, about one in cash, and the rest of it is in other assets.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay.
I'm cash. I never had cash in my life, and my greedy hands hung on to it when I got it from being 100% broke, in debt, basically almost to bankruptcy, when I was 42. And we all have our sob story. I had 3 kids in private school or in university. I was struggling, lost a job, and I was just broke. And somehow it all worked out. It's a miracle. And being cash poor and insecure about stock markets, and it's all going to be bad. It's going to this, and this. So I would have more if I wouldn't have been so frightened of the stock market. Same way with my wife, who was always overcautious. However, I got a job. Thank God, got a job. Saved every money. Helped our kids through school. Taught them to work. They worked their way through school. Came out of school with no debt. And they drove junkers the way we drove junkers. And they've all done, the kids have all done exceedingly well. I'm not bragging on them, going to complain. It's a fact. All 3 of them are millionaires. Plus.
Wow.
And the grandkids are well on their way.
Wow.
I'm thankful.
How old are you?
And all this, I'm 78.
78. And so I take it from this story you inherited none of this.
A minimal amount. I mean, minimal from my wife's parents when they died. It was basically nothing. And no, we worked. And
what'd you do for a living?
You know what? I was a corporate pilot up until I was 42, and in and out of jobs as companies didn't have jobs. And hey, Lee, we're going to our planes being repossessed. And back in sometimes in the 70s and early 80s, it was almost impossible to find a corporate job. But finally, at 42, I finally got hired by an airline. And being 100% broke, I had 18 years until I was obligated to retire at age 60. They since raised age 65. So I scrambled like mad. We paid our house, helped the kids with their debt, did this, did that. 3 kids got married. They were on their own. And we saved money and were exceedingly frugal. And finally, in the last 5 years with the airline, I finally had some decent income, and we squandered that away and saved. And then when I hit age 60 in 2002, I've been retired since. And nobody anything. And during this time, we always paid tithes, 10%. And then when my last kid left the house, which was 30-some years ago, we began paying 20% without fail on every penny that we had coming in.
Wow.
Plus giving some on the side. So I'm, again, not back bragging, blowing, growing, and complaining. I was thankful. And so now, at this age, wife and I still have good health.
Yeah.
With enthusiasm, try to play tennis every day or do other things.
I love it.
And been to more countries than there are states.
Lee, I love you, man.
Wow.
Well done. That's a beautiful story.
It is.
All the way from 42 and just said enough already, and takes a shift in the career and saves everything, sitting on $1 million cash.
Yeah.
At 78.
And not just him, but he's raised his kids.
3
and
millionaire
all 3
kids.
of them are millionaires.
There was a story in that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Very cool. Well done.
Talk about being intentional.
William's in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Hey, William, what's your net worth?
My net worth is $1.3 million, sir.
Good for you. Give me a little breakdown on that by category.
It's probably going to be the most boring story you hear today. There's about $1 million of just mutual funds and IRA and 401k, and then our house is paid for at $300,000. So
That'll do it.
But about $1.3 million.
That's what we hear a lot, actually. Very well done. How old are you?
Okay. I am 45.
Okay. And what was your best? Oh, how much of this did you inherit?
Essentially none of it. We'll just say none of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a little bit, like a lot of people got a little bit, but that certainly was not remotely tipping any scales whatsoever.
Gotcha. And your worst year of income to your best year of income, what was the range?
My first job on a dairy farm was $18,000 a year, and then my best year of sales was probably plus 100 plus in that kind of ballpark. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were in sales. All right.
Yep, I was in sales and dairy farm management, quite frankly.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
did you go to college?
I went for 2 years.
Okay.
I did not graduate from college.
Gotcha. And do you remember your high school GPA?
3.401 because you had to have a 3.4 to get into National Honor Society. So
Gotcha.
3.401. Yeah.
All right. And do you and your family, do you do any giving?
That's probably the best part of having the blessings that we've got. Yeah, we do giving, and it's all anonymous, and it's all local, and it's the best part of having been given the gift of good influences to put us in this position.
Yeah. Talk about the influences. Who were they? How did that work?
I was raised by a single mom, and we were incredibly poor. When we hit rock bottom, I did not have a bed. We did not have a TV, a couch, or a refrigerator. And so the one best thing that my mom did was she sent me to work on some dairy farms when I was a teenager, and I learned that work ethic.
That is incredibly hard work.
That is work. And you work and you work and you get up at 4 o'clock the next morning and you work.
And they don't have snow days and they don't have vacation.
That's right.
That is correct, sir. Yes, that is correct. So that's where that was the influence, without a doubt. That's what changed the cycle for me. Undoubtedly were those influencers and those people that were in my path that I got to learn from. To say,
so
boy,
let's reverse that then. What advice do you have? Let's reverse that and make you the influencer. What advice do you have to the 25-year-old version of you that's out there? What should they be doing to get to be you when they're 45?
They should have a very simple plan and live on less than you make, and also realize that what society tells you is wealth is a lie, and that the people that society likes to paint the picture as wealthy or rich generally are not. And the guy in the store who's maybe not wearing the coolest clothes or driving the nicest car has $5 million of wealth. We just don't know it. And that's what I would tell myself or reinforce to myself at 25 and anybody else. Like, do not.
Yeah, be unassuming.
That's exactly right. And I like that, Dave. Don't get caught up in the world's definition of wealth.
Mm-hmm. Because they're stupid. No, I mean, really.
No, I was going to say wrong.
Everybody's talking about it.
Right.
Everybody's complaining about it.
Right.
Nobody's doing anything about it. And then you find the guy or the gal that did something about it, and that's who they are. They're driving a nice car, but it's not flashy.
Nope.
And their clothes are clean and pressed, but they're not flashy.
Mm-mm.
And that's how it works.
You know what
I had a friend of mine grew up on a dairy farm. She said she was grown before she found out that Labor Day was not the day you worked the hardest. That's what her dad told her.
Wow.
Millionaire Theme Hour here on The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Psalm 34:4. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. Our friend Rush Limbaugh, who passed away today, rest in peace, Rush, said, I don't think looking at things through the prism of fear is going to accomplish anything. Agreed. It's a millionaire theme hour here on the Ramsey Show. If you have a $1 million net worth or greater, Chris Hogan, Ramsey personality, and I want to talk to you and get the real story. Folks, it's that time of year again. Yep, tax season. And look, we got lots of irons in the fire. I know it makes taxes complicated. I use a pro for my taxes because I don't want to mess with it. If your taxes are not complicated and you want to go file online by getting some good tax software, text the keyword. The keyword here is good, by the way, and you want good software. And that's why my team is introducing Ramsey Smart Tax. It is our brand new tax filing software, and it's a great option if you've got simple taxes. And all you do is text the word tax to 33789, and we'll tell you more about Ramsey Smart Tax. Very inexpensive, very easy for those of you that have a simple return. And we're not going to send you like credit card offers and home equity loan offers and mortgage offers and all that stuff. We're simply going to help you get your taxes done. Text the word tax to 33789. That's 33789. Text tax. All right, Adam is in Richmond, Virginia. Hi, Adam. What is your net worth?
It's $1 million with a few thousand over top of that.
Cool. And break that down for me by category.
So retirement is $460. The house is $375 to $400. We've got $60K in a 529, $70K in cash, and then I'll put $25K in guns, toys, and tools.
Okay, cool. So how old are you?
I'm 47, and my wife is here. She's a little younger than that.
Okay, cool. Love it. How much of this $1 million did you guys inherit?
So my dad actually did pass a few years ago, and he left me some things that were probably valued around $25K or so.
Okay. So safe to say, unless you parlay that $25K into a bunch of money, you're not a millionaire because of an inheritance.
Not because of an inheritance, but because of the parents, for sure.
Yeah. Well, the influence and the teaching.
Yes.
And the lifestyle.
Yes.
Yeah. So give me your range of income through your working lifetime. Best year and worst year.
Yeah, total household, we started out, 24, 25 years ago, $30K, and then last year was our best year at $164.
Okay, cool. What do you do for a living?
I tell people I'm an engineer, which is what my degree is, but then I moved over to sales and started doing that and training.
Gotcha. And what's your wife do?
She's a social worker.
Gotcha. And did you guys both get degrees?
We did, yeah. Both got a bachelor's.
All right. And what was your GPA, Adam?
So in community college, because I did the knock it out in 2 years and then go to the 4-year college.
Yep.
I was around a 3.3, and then I tell people I graduated from the 4-year college, Virginia Tech, with a 3.0, but it was actually a 2.945. I just rounded up.
Okay, you are an engineer for sure. What was your wife's GPA?
She was a 3.5.
Okay. And do
Much smarter than me.
Yeah, there you go, smart man. Do you all do any giving as a family?
We do. We do through church, and we do through other.
Gotcha. And tell me this. What was one of the biggest money mistakes you guys made in your journey?
I think when we look back at it, we bought one new vehicle, and we've been married a little while, and we had this thing going called a truck fund. So we were saving for about a year and a half, and we saved about $7,500. And then finally just couldn't wait any longer, so we went out and bought a $22,000 truck, which I still have today, but that was probably the biggest thing. That was the one new car that we financed.
Gotcha.
Cool. So talk about, you said what your parents didn't give you was money, but they did give you habits, character, something. I mean, what do you attribute, what did you get from them that you attribute to your ability to become a millionaire at 47 years old?
Yeah, definitely both work ethic. My dad was construction for years, and construction for years as an electrician until, as he says, he retired to maintenance. My mother, he was actually my stepfather, but he's my dad. And my mother for years was raising my sister and myself, and working 2-3 jobs, minimum wage, and refused to go on welfare. But you just see the work ethic there. And then a lot of the things, that my dad taught me about, financial, how to handle money. When I started listening to you, I just started checking the box and saying, "Oh, yeah, he told me those things. He wasn't lying. He knew what he was talking about."
That's really neat. And to your knowledge, Adam, are you the first millionaire in your family?
No, actually, he made it. So I'm
He did. Okay.
Or my parents made it. Yes.
Okay. That's fantastic.
Wow, very cool. Very cool. Well, we always have parents ask, okay, it's one thing to build wealth, but then how do you keep that from ruining your children? And quite to the contrary, in your case, it didn't ruin you, it made you, in the sense of he taught you the habits and the character qualities that allowed you to be able to pull this off. And that's what I wanted to get at, because I hear that all the time.
Yeah,
that can also be passed as an inheritance.
That's right. It sure can.
And they did it much later in life, too. I mean, I paid my way through college. My wife, got a lot of scholarships, and her parents helped her. But when I went to college, that's why I went to the community college route, is we didn't have the money. Mm-hmm. So, again, they achieved that mark well when, after we were married.
Yeah. Very cool. Well done, sir.
Buddy.
Very proud of you. Very proud of you. Chris Hogan's book, Everyday Millionaires. The white paper is available at DaveRamsey.com for $10. The book is there for probably around $20, and you can pick it up on Amazon as well. But the white paper, for those of you that are nerds and want to dig through the details of the study that was done, we did it in conjunction with a research firm out of New York. To have someone looking over our shoulder to hold to the legitimacy of the findings.
That's right.
We wanted the findings to be airtight. We didn't want them to be skewed. A lot of things we turned up when we studied 10,000 plus millionaires turned up what we thought was there.
Right.
Some of it more than we thought. Tom Stanley, I just did a quote for his daughter Sarah sent me an email this week. They're doing an article on him, wrote The Millionaire Next Door. There's some folks at Georgia University or Georgia State University or University of Georgia, one of the two, are doing a series on Tom, which they should. He is iconic, wonderful man. But he did the book in 1992, The Millionaire Next Door. And the numbers we had always had from that and from other studies that were done was that 70 to 75% of America's millionaires were first-generation rich, did not become millionaires because of an inheritance. What we found was 79% received zero inheritance.
That's right.
But we also found two other things, that 5%, the inheritance they received was so small that it was irrelevant. They got $1,000 or $5,000 or something, which is not zero, but it did not cause them. And that was 5%. Another 5% did receive substantial monies, but it was after they already were millionaires.
Right.
And so to say that that now 93% is what we're now at, of the people that we studied did not become millionaires because of an inheritance.
Correct.
That's bizarre.
That's massively high.
That's higher than we thought.
That's much higher than I anticipated.
And today, zero.
Right. No one was caused that to become a millionaire because of inheritance.
Yeah, and none of these were over $2 million net worth.
Nope.
But they were 1.4, 1.15, 1.5, 1.5, 1.3, and 1.
Yep.
And 44, 70, 52, 78, 45, and 47 years old.
And the 401k was either number 1 or number 2
and a paid-off
part
house
of their net worth.
And a paid-off house was the other part.
All were givers.
All were givers.
All were givers.
And none of them had, but one guy under a 3 and barely under a 3 GPA, but none of them had 4.0.
Nope. So we got social worker, teachers, sales, people. It's possible for you. You got to believe, and then you need to work.
This is why we do this. We want you to believe you can win, because we know you can. The data says it. That puts this hour in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.